Smackdown in Italy gave us a brawl-for-all between OTC Roman Reigns, CM Punk, and Seth Rollins. That was crazy, and now it's official. Roman Reigns, Punk, and Rollins at WrestleMania 41. We also got Kevin Owens and Randy Orton going at it in the start of the match, and now that's also confirmed for WrestleMania. And we get Damian Priest versus Drew, tease, that's going to be more intense. Tiffy and Charlotte do an interview, and we see my girl, she picked up a win over Jade Cargill. Now, y'all say she's getting buried because she's not in WrestleMania yet, she doesn't have anything planned, but what now? What they gotta say? Smackdown starts off with a bang. But now, let's get into it as we waste no time for the Smackdown review. Before we get to Randy Orton and Kevin Owens, we see Liv Morgan get a huge pop, and CM Punk as well gets an amazing pop. But show starts off with Randy Orton, and they sing his theme song, W Moment. And the commentators are quiet for this, so gotta love it. And another thing I want to point out is Wade Barrett making a joke about 09 Orton. And it seems like Twitter has been having a frenzy with this, about a DM saying that I would face 09 Randy Orton to get a date with you. Bro, hey, me personally, I would do that for Luke.
Stop, wait a minute. The way that you move it, you got my heart.
I would fight 09 Orton in a no DQ, hardcore, Hell in a Cell, you name it. 3 stages of hell. I'm there. For Liv, oh yeah. Before anything was said by Randy Orton, Kevin Owens interrupts and tried to apologize. Like, what you trying to apologize about? He said he was trying to prevent Randy from going back to his old ways by punting Carmelo Hayes last week. By pulling him off, he saved him from the old side of Orton. And he has a point. That's a good point. That wasn't a good point was that Kevin Owens wanted to tag with Randy and go after the tag belts. Can you make that make sense for me? Why would Randy ever do that after getting power driver? So Randy says that he only wants to kick his ass and told KO to shove it down his ass, his offer of being a tag team. And he also said that Kevin Owens used to be fight Owens fight, but now he's bitch Owens bitch. That was funny. Great burn by Randy Orton. Now it looks like Randy Orton and Kevin Owens at WrestleMania. This is gonna be good. Now see Jimmy and Damian Priest take on Shinsuke and Drew McIntyre. Now this match was the purpose of setting up Drew and Damian Priest. Everything else just was forgettable. The match starts off with Priest wasting no time on Drew McIntyre. As soon as Drew McIntyre made his entrance, Priest ran and went after, and these two fight before the match was even official. And when they finally got in the ring, it starts. We get the match. Jimmy and Damian Priest win the match, but Drew McIntyre attacks Damian Priest after the match. And now these two start brawling. Drew saying it's on site repeatedly, and now Damian Priest chokes Drew McIntyre and says, "I'ma kill you." Literally straight up, he's gonna kill him. What? Intense. But Drew starts banging Priest his head onto the mat multiple times, and wow, can we just take a second and say Damian Priest is one hell of a seller. Wow, props. And after that, Damian Priest takes a Claymore, and wow, what a sell. He took it like he was actually knocked out. Amazing. Bravo. These two are gonna cook at WrestleMania when everyone was shitting on it. They actually have a story, unlike Jay and Gunther. Sorry, I had to mention. Backstage, we see LA Knight and Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman explains that He has a match against Jacob Fatu, and it's a #1 contenders match for the United States Championship. Who will face LA Knight in London next week on Smackdown? We'll find out. We follow up with a Tiffy and Charlotte interview. Charlotte begins the interview by interrupting Tiffy and saying she brings the best in everyone and told Tiffy she's a pick-me girl. She followed up saying that this is her usual business, while Tiffy has never been under the spotlight, and Charlotte has done this previous times in previous WrestleManias. Now it's time for Tiffy to say what she has to say. She pulls out the receipts and said that Charlotte was one of her biggest supporters and that she's worried that Tiffy is going to take her throne. Tiffy then says Charlotte struggles with keeping up with the fans and don't want her back, and that WWE don't bow down, they run on Tiffy time. You gotta love it. Tiffy and Charlotte are bringing out the energy, setting the tone for the WrestleMania match from a horrendous start, but now they're starting to pick up momentum. We gotta see how this goes, and it's gonna be good. It's now time for a United States #1 contenders match between Braun Strowman and Jacob Fatu. This match was pretty good, and it had to end via disqualification. Solo and Tama Tonga starts beating Braun Strowman, but that disqualifies him. That makes Jacob Fatu really mad. Why would they do that? It just cost them his United States Championship match. Now there's tension between Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu, but LA Knight comes out for the save as they beat down Braun Strowman, and now Jacob and Solo retreat, and LA Knight and Braun Strowman next week, London, for the United States Championship. We now get a Liv Morgan interview, the most important interview of the night. Liv says she's going after Jade Cargill because she was falsely accused, and she never said anything, never vouched that it wasn't her when she was falsely accused. So it's time to get a revenge added to the revenge tour. She also then implied that she was impressed what Naomi did to her, but not impressed that she didn't finish the job, which is what Liv is gonna do tonight in her match. Now all of a sudden, Jacob Fatu crashes out, and there's even more tension between him and Solo Sikoa. Could this be a hint that we're gonna get Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu at WrestleMania 41? Hey, I'm in for it. We're all in for it. Let's get it. Teaser shows a #4 again that we saw from last week. People are saying, could this be an Aleister Black return? Or could it be something with the Wyatt Six? It could be 4 weeks away until we see the Wyatt Six or something. I don't know. Maybe I'm too deep. But that's something to be looking out on. I don't know what that leads to. This is something I know it'll make sense eventually. My baby Liv takes on Jade Cargill. And oh my god, can we take a second and just live for this moment? Pun not intended. Oh my god, she's so amazing. She's so beautiful. What can she not do to catch your eye? But then comes out Jade Cargill. Who cares? My Liv puts on a show, but we see Naomi. Naomi's back and attacks Jade while the ref wasn't looking. My girl pulls an Oblivion to hit on Jade Cargill to get the 1, 2, 3. Liv Morgan wins. Naomi and Jade are gonna go at it, probably at WrestleMania, but now it's got more tense between them. But my girl gets another win to add onto the revenge tour. Let's get it. We love that. We love when Liv wins. Can we get more of Liv every day? It's Liv Morgan Day. It's also Roman Reigns Day. We'll get to that later. Drew comes out, does an interview, and says that Priest is just as tough like he is stupid, and tells him you can find him next week in London. He'll see him there. But Drew wasn't finished as Seth comes up and we get a face-to-face. They move on. Hey, I wouldn't mind seeing Seth and Drew go at it one more time. Street Profits, the new champs, walk out to some garbage ass music, but the crowd does this yeet inspired thing that Montez Ford does. So hey, as long as it works, maybe in the States we get the same energy. We might not even care, but bring back their old theme. If they're gonna bring out this garbage where I don't know what it is with WWE with music, they just can't hit it. They need to sign new people. It's time for Def Rebel to get out. Street Profits try to live for this moment, as it's been 4 years since they've held tag champs, and they say it's about damn time. And I have to agree, these two are good, and the crowd says you deserve it, and they do, but then get interrupted by Delgado the Fantasma after Ford was telling them how it feels good to have a brother like Angelo. But then they get interrupted by the number one contenders, Pretty Deadly. And now Delgado Fantasma challenges the Street Profits, and they accept because they don't duck no smoke. Before that match start, we see Rey Fenix video. He is now signed with the WWE. Chat, what y'all think about that? I think it's amazing. Now we got the Lucha Brothers in the WWE. I was a big fan of them in AEW, and they were clearly underutilized in there. So now we get to see them happy where they want to be, and maybe eventually they'll team up, but looks like Rey Fenix is heading to Smackdown. Street Profits now take on Legado del Fantasma. These two have a good match, and especially with this one spot where Legado del Fantasma try to flip Montez Ford, but he lands his landing, and their faces was priceless. They looked like they just lost $1,000 or something. I don't know. Something happened, and it was funny and hilarious. But Street Profits pick up the win with the frog splash to get the 1, 2, 3. They're still champs, and they're heading next week to face Pretty Deadly. We now see Paul Heyman as we await for OTC to make his entrance. Once he does, aura crazy. Italy acknowledges your tribal chief, but Roman starts off saying that Punk tried to screw him, so he screwed him back at MSG. And then Seth tried to kill him, so he tried to kill him at MSG as well. But then out comes Seth, and Seth told Roman he should have let him finish Punk, and basically saying that there's no OTC without Seth, and there's no Seth without OTC. But then Punk comes out, and Punk says his arm is taped up, not to hold a microphone, but to fight. But before that, he wants to speak some facts. Before he can say any of those facts, he calls Roman Big Chief and Seth Rollins Grimace. Bro, that shit was hilarious. I was like, bro, Grimace. Hey, bro, don't drink that Grimace shake though. Hey, don't drink that Grimace shake. Now Punk is serious. He said Roman or Seth cannot beat him without each other's help, and then told them that he didn't screw Roman. It's every man for himself at the Royal Rumble, and followed up by saying he wouldn't have had an opportunity to be in the Rumble after saving his ass and his family in the War Games. Then reminds that Paul Heyman still owes him a favor. Punk stuck by his word and started to fight Roman Reigns, but then Seth wanted his hands on CM Punk, and now these 3 actually start brawling. They start brawling everywhere, we see Seth Rollins do a suicide dive and then starts to do a kick onto Punk. Roman picks up the steps and hits Rollins, and Punk. Show ends. Amazing ending to a Smackdown. A solid Smackdown. You know, should it be 3 hours? No, but it's obviously the network trying to milk everything out of WWE. You know, they're used to having 3 hours with Raw, so they want 3 hours for SmackDown, which is unfortunate because it kills the show and it makes it longer than it needs to be. I'm tired of it because it makes these videos longer and harsh, but other than that, it was pretty good. We got some good things out of the SmackDown, like Randy and Owens, Liv Morgan beating Jade Cargill. Dude, Liv Morgan has impressive victories over Io, Rhea, and now Bianca and Naomi. Come on, man. Put some respect on her name. What y'all think about this SmackDown? Was it good? Was it bad? I want you to tell me in the comments, but that's all I have to say. So, see you on the next one.
Can I be for real? This is how I feel. I'm in need of love, so let's dip up out of here. Ooh, you're just my type. Everything's so right.